I've been meditating every day for 5 years, and in that time, I've taken several courses and read several books, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that meditation is the single most powerful skill that I've ever learned. After publishing this award-winning thesis on men's health and coaching several men to optimize their testosterone levels naturally, one of the most important things I've ever learned about testosterone is that the mind has an equally powerful effect on its production as the body. So I was not surprised to find that recent research shows that meditation increases testosterone. In this video, I'm going to break down this research and explain how meditation increases testosterone, and then I'm going to provide actionable protocols that you can use to apply meditation to your life starting today. Without further ado, let's dive into the research. We often think of stress as always a bad thing, but the research actually showed that testosterone can increase or decrease in response to a stressor depending on the man's basal cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone itself. Our bodies produce cortisol when we perceive things to be stressful. So if a man is walking around with high baseline levels of stress, meaning he's walking around stressed all day, he's going to have decreased testosterone in response to a stressor, a new stressor. Whereas a man with lower levels of baseline stress, so he doesn't walk around very stressed, he's just relaxed, his testosterone levels are going to increase in response to a stressor. And the reason for this is because cortisol primes you to view stressors as threats, whereas testosterone primes you to view stressors as challenges. So here's how this works. Cortisol, the stress hormone, blocks out or blunts testosterone. So when you have high baseline levels of cortisol, you're going to have lower levels of testosterone because cortisol gets in testosterone's way. So if you have high baseline levels of stress and you have low testosterone as a response, cortisol is going to be the predominant hormone circulating in your bloodstream. So how you perceive things in the world is going to be through the lens of high cortisol. So if you're highly stressed and you experience a new stressor, the response your body is going to have is lower testosterone because you view the stressor as a threat. To the contrary, if you have lower baseline levels of cortisol because you're not chronically stressed, the predominant circulating hormone is going to be testosterone. And when you have higher levels of testosterone, you're going to be more primed to view stressors as challenges instead of threats. And when you view stressors as challenges, your body upregulates testosterone more to help you deal with the challenges. But the effects of meditation on your testosterone levels run a lot deeper and are a lot more powerful than simply how you respond to stress. And the reason for this is because meditation is the only tool in existence that allows you to control your own thoughts. You see, when you meditate, the objective is essentially to take a big step back mentally and observe your own thoughts objectively. And most people can't do this because when you think a thought, you don't even realize that you're thinking it. So the ability to control your own thoughts is extremely rare and not well known. It's super important to be able to do this because your thoughts give rise to your emotions. Your emotions can affect your hormone production. So here's the connection. Thoughts give rise to emotions, and emotions can affect your hormone production. Here's how this might work. If you think fearful, stressful thoughts, for example, what if I'm never able to pay the bills? What if I get fired? What if this person doesn't like me? And you're thinking, your internal monologue, your inner voice is thinking thoughts that give rise to the emotion of fear. That's going to lead to the release of cortisol, a hormone. To the contrary, if you think confident thoughts like, what doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. I'm going to be able to get through this challenge. There's nothing that I can't handle. And you're thinking thoughts like this. That's going to give rise to an emotion like confidence. And the emotion of confidence leads to the production of the hormone testosterone. So the pathway is thinking, emotions, hormone production. So the only way to change your emotions, which affect your hormone production, is to go all the way to the grassroots and change your thoughts. And meditation is the only tool that allows you to do this, because meditation is essentially the exercise of witnessing your own thoughts almost from a third person perspective. When you meditate, you're sitting back with your eyes closed or open and you're literally watching your own thoughts. And when you do that, you're able to pick and choose from them and change the way that you think. So you're going to let go of thoughts that cause you to be fearful and stressed, and then you're going to actively encourage thoughts that cause you to be more confident and well-grounded and self-assured and make better decisions, etc. To really drive home the point that your thoughts can create a physical manifestation in your body, consider this. When you think sexual thoughts or sexual imagery, your body gets an erection. There's actually studies that show that just thinking about or viewing sexual imagery increases testosterone, because testosterone is one of the things that drives you to get erections. So you can literally think thoughts that improve your testosterone production in real time. And meditation is the only tool, it's the only skill that enables you to get direct control over the thoughts that run through your mind. The importance of this cannot be overstated because your thoughts directly influence your reality. Another example of this is the relationship between low testosterone and depression. It's scientifically proven that low testosterone causes depression, but it also goes the other way. Depression causes low testosterone. And what's the root cause of depression? Negative thinking. When you think negative thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I hate my life, etc., these thoughts give rise to the emotion or mood of depression, and depression lowers testosterone. So as you can see, your ability to control the root of all emotions, which is thoughts, directly influences your reality, which can manifest as your testosterone levels. So what meditation allows you to do is essentially go into your mind and change the character of your thinking. And you can flip the natural tendency to think negative thoughts into a positive one. So a quick note on that before we continue. Human beings are naturally wired to think negatively, because imagine a caveman on the savannah who anticipates everything as a threat. He hears a rustle in the bushes, and this activates the thought that that might be a predator, which leads to the fight or flight response, and he runs away and he survives a potential encounter with a threat. Well, that caveman is more likely to survive and reproduce than the high testosterone optimistic caveman who thinks, oh, that could maybe be prey. I'm gonna go charge into the bush and kill it and get a bite to eat. That caveman might walk right face first into a saber-toothed tiger and end up getting killed. So it's actually adaptive, and it was good to think negative, stressful thoughts in the past because it enabled human beings to survive. But in today's world, it's extremely problematic because most of our stressors aren't direct life or death situations, so it causes us to be unnecessarily negative and stressed all the time. And as we spoke about, this leads to lower testosterone production. But meditation allows you to get the feedback loop of your mind going in a positive direction. There's a phenomenon that's established in the scientific literature called the winner effect. And the way it works is testosterone drives men to win in competitive environments, and winning competitions increases testosterone. Testosterone encourages you to be more competitive, and it gives you the biological tools you need to be successful through physical energy, mental clarity. Testosterone has a lot of positive effects on your body and your mind, which makes you more capable of winning. But then winning feeds back and increases testosterone. So you can activate this winner effect by consciously thinking positive thoughts, which you can only do through meditation. When you think positive thoughts, this increases your testosterone. Increased testosterone increases your ability to win and succeed in the world. And when you win and succeed, you think, hey, I'm a winner, and that increases testosterone, and you can get that feedback loop working positively for you. This is called the winner effect. And meditation gives you direct control over the winner effect. If you're still not convinced about the power of thinking and human thought, our ability to think, is what differentiated human beings from all other organisms and allowed us to outcompete every other living life form in existence as the dominant species on the face of the planet. Every creation made by human beings all originated as a thought. I mean, consider nuclear bombs, which have the capacity, they have the power to destroy everything in existence, all that we know. It all started with an idea, a thought in the mind that was then put into reality. So human thought is quite literally the most powerful force to ever be produced by nature. And meditation allows you to direct it and control it in your favor. Think about that. Another direct benefit of meditation that was shown in the research is it improves your capacity for self-control. And self-control is the catalyst for self-confidence. This is because when you trust that you have the ability to control yourself and follow through on what you say you're going to do, you have more confidence in your ability to get things done. And research also shows that self-confidence, self-esteem increases testosterone. So by meditating and improving your capacity for self-control, you therefore increase your self-confidence because you say, hey, I trust myself, I'm confident in my ability to control myself. That leads to higher self-esteem, and higher self-esteem goes back and increases testosterone. And then again, we have another feedback loop. Higher testosterone leads to higher self-confidence. And you also need a high degree of self-control to do the things that lead to higher testosterone production. For example, going to the gym and exercising consistently requires self-control and discipline to not only get your foot in the door, but also to endure the challenging workouts that are required to increase testosterone, like heavy, intense lifting. You also need a high degree of self-control to avoid the vices that lower testosterone, like alcohol, weed, porn, junk food. You need a high level of self-control to not do the things that lower testosterone, and you need self-control to get yourself to do the things like exercise that increase testosterone. And meditation, like the research shows, improves your capacity for self-control, which, like we said, increases your self-confidence, but it also enables you to do the things and not do the things that lead to higher testosterone production. And meditation is at the root of all of that. By now, you should be convinced about the power of meditation. So if you want to get started with meditation, the best place to go, hands down, is the Waking Up app by Sam Harris. I've reviewed all the other meditation apps on the market, and Sam Harris's app is hands down the best one. There's no debate about it. Meditation is just one of the many protocols that I teach men in my Testosterone Transformation Academy, which is a coaching program that I've developed to help men optimize their testosterone levels naturally using lifestyle protocols, one of which is meditation. So if you think that you could benefit from higher testosterone levels because you're struggling with low testosterone, check out the link in the description. That top link, you can look at the program, and I promise you, this is hands down the best program on the market to optimize your testosterone levels naturally, because we only use the highest level tools like Sam Harris's meditation app to cover all the bases required to optimize testosterone. So give that link a click if you have low testosterone. That's all I have for this video. I'll see you in the next one.